Massive tax loophole that costs billions of dollars and sends it to illegal immigrants. 13 Investigates broke this national story, and right away, the IRS said the blame lies with Congress. But not so fast. Tonight, IRS insiders all over the country are speaking out. Investigative reporter Bob Siegel shows you why the real problem now appears to be inside the IRS.
Try looking for WTHR's investigation about a tax loophole.
Paperwork every April 15th.
And you'll find it's really got people talking.
This is complete incompetence and it's fraud.
This is ridiculous. And it's beyond carelessness by the IRS.
Has known about this problem for years.
And some of those people have startling new information.
When people hear what you have to say, they're going to be mad.
Absolutely.
It is mind-blowing, isn't it?
These are insiders from the IRS, and you're going to hear from them in a moment. They are some of the new whistleblowers now stepping forward after seeing our investigation, an investigation that all began with a tip from a single Indiana tax preparer.
We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar fraud scheme here that is taking place.
He came to Eyewitness News to show how millions of illegal immigrants file tax returns in order to get big refunds from the IRS. In many cases, getting tax credits for children who've never even lived in the United States. Undocumented workers like these admitted this year their families got $4,000, $9,000, even $30,000 in tax credits for nieces and nephews who live in other countries.
It's just so easy, it's ridiculous.
Why is it so easy? Well, we went to IRS headquarters in Washington for answers, but no one would meet with us. IRS administrators won't discuss it. But that's not the case for IRS employees who work on the front lines.
I'm baffled that this is still going on.
Happen all the time. You know it's wrong. If you push the issue, you don't have a job anymore.
These IRS insiders agreed to meet with me in person as long as we didn't show their faces. 9 others talked to me on the phone.
And you're in Texas?
They are all current or former IRS workers who contacted Eyewitness News after seeing our investigation. And they all have experience working at an IRS processing center, like this one in Austin, Texas. If an undocumented worker is going to get a tax credit, this is where the paperwork and the problems begin.
Somebody needs to know about this. This needs to be stopped.
Here's how it works. Congress decided years ago that illegal immigrants who work in the U.S. must pay taxes. Since they're not eligible for a Social Security number, the IRS created what's called an ITIN, an individual taxpayer identification number. Getting this number is key for undocumented workers to file tax returns and to get big refunds.
What's it take to get an ITIN?
Not much.
These IRS insiders say all that's required to get an ITIN is this application form along with 2 identifying documents, such as a foreign birth certificate, driver's license, or voter ID card. Those types of documents are easily forged, and these workers say bogus documents are what the I-10 processing center receives every day.
How do you know if the documentation is real or if it's fake?
You don't. You don't.
I can't read Spanish, so I couldn't even read. They're all in Spanish. I don't read Spanish.
You're expected to process documents, and you don't even read the language that the documents are in?
Correct.
I guarantee 90% are phony. We'd see the same signature hundreds of times. You'd see the same docs. Same person.
Same person.
I've seen this same birth certificate 12 times now in the last day.
So what do you do with that application?
If the documentation's there, process it.
It was your job to check to make sure that documentation was correct.
No, there's no way for us to do that. The documentation would come in. That's it, we're done with it. We accept it. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Workers from the I-10 processing center tell Eyewitness News their complaints to supervisors go unheard.
Did you ever raise a red flag?
Absolutely.
They say red flags are actually discouraged because the focus here is not on accuracy, it's on speed.
You have to do X amount in an hour or you don't get your pay grade raise. You don't get that grade evaluation. You have to kick them out as quickly as possible. You're there to give them this number. You're not there to judge.
But what do you mean you're not there to judge? If you don't judge the validity of these documents, who is?
Nobody.
No one. This is how they're getting these numbers.
That helps explain what this Indiana tax preparer sees on a regular basis.
It's very frustrating.
Illegal immigrants who get big tax refunds by sending the IRS paperwork that doesn't even match. Not even close. Take a look at this. It's a 1040 tax return for a man named Victor, and this is the W-2 he submitted to show how much he got paid. But the W-2 shows a different name. Victor also goes by Jose, and Jose has a social security number, while Victor has an ITIN number. It doesn't matter to the IRS. Victor listed 7 nieces and nephews on his tax return, all have ITIN numbers and live in another country, and despite all the discrepancies, Victor got tax refunds and additional child tax credits totaling more than $9,000.
As a tax preparer, when you see that the Social Security number and the names don't match up, why would you still send them in together?
Because the IRS tells us that is how we are supposed to do that.
He's right. This official IRS policy says the agency gladly accepts what it calls ITIN Social Security number mismatches.
We're talking one person with 2 different names and 2 different identification numbers. Why is that allowed to be matched up and submitted to get a tax refund?
I have no clue.
Keep in mind, most undocumented workers are not legally entitled to a Social Security number. So if they're listing one on a tax return, it means the number is likely stolen from somebody else.
They're basically using everyday Joe taxpayers' Social Security numbers.
What steps are taken to prevent fraud?
There aren't any. These numbers are running amok. This is out of control.
The Inspector General of the U.S. Treasury agrees. He says this is a problem that now costs American taxpayers more than $4 billion a year. And he says the IRS is not doing something so simple as checking documents to make sure the agency is not giving out fraudulent tax credits. Now, some of the examples we've shown you in our investigation are from Mexico. But it's important to point out, IRS insiders say they see phony documents come in every day from all over the world. 20 times now we've asked the IRS for an interview, and 20 times we've been denied. We'll keep asking because we're still trying to get you answers. I'm Bob Siegel, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.